So, welcome everyone, and welcome to the full moon meditation. This is a Gemini full moon. It's also a cold moon, and it is in December. And in a lot of the indigenous cultures, this is also known as grandmother moon. And so this grandmother moon, that which confirms one of Lisa's things when she first came in, and the deck we were both going to bring in, and that she actually got up and went and got. And so, and it's funny you bought in a butterfly. I actually had a picture that I was just going to post before I came in, and I didn't get time, of a moth on my light last night, a little tiny moth on my lamp. I went to roll over, turn off the light, and here was this moth, wings full spread out, looking at me. And so there is such divine energy with us. We have so much divine energy. See, I'm going blurry again. I don't know if I'm blurry. Am I blurry on your end? Yeah, I'm like, I don't know why that happens to me. Don't know what's going on. It's not focusing properly. See, again. So, but this is a powerful moon. And because it is the grandmother moon, because it's the last moon of the year, and that's why it's called the grandmother moon. It's really tied, and the cold moon, of course, ties into the weather, but it's actually very warmed up compared to what it was last night. But it is that essence of, this is where there's so much wisdom and power to be extracted from this moon. And there's so much beautiful energy. And now it is in Gemini. And not that there's anything wrong with Geminis, but Gemini comes with duality. And so there is duality with this moon. And right before this full moon hit its prime, there was this overlap of where the moon hovered over, I believe it was like Mars or something, and it just caused such Mars, right? And so it's like everything kind of just blacked out that moon, that planet for a period of 10 minutes or whatever it is that it happens. But it's kind of that time that just kind of, you close your eyes and you take that breath, and it's just like everything comes colliding in. It's almost like that Big Bang moment of everything hits, everything's there, and then absolutely nothing else you can do. It's like the watching the accident happen. You're already in motion, and it's already happening, and there's nothing else you can do but just hold on and hope for the best. That's kind of what some of this energy is going to be, and what 2023 is actually going to be for a period of it. So there is, and that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that there is so much that is out of our control, letting go, but learning the power of great communication. Learning the power to say what you truly mean, not what your shadow means. And there's a difference. It's what your truth really is when you find your truth. But first, you got to find your truth. And that's where our world kind of goes wrong so many times. We speak for the parts of us that are the hurt, the pain. And when the voice comes out, it doesn't come out as our truth. It comes out as our hurts. It comes out as our angers. It comes out as our greatest fears and insecurities. But when we step into this power of discovering that sense of discernment and traveling through that, recognizing the dualities in life, is that we also then recognize the power of silence before communication, perspectives before. And when we think of grandmother energy, and Saint Anne is everywhere, and I can feel Saint Anne everywhere. And when Saint Anne comes, she's not tied to religion at all. I mean, she's brought into religion, but she is a divine presence, but she is also that of all divine mothers. And so she is that of all divine mothers turned to grandmothers. And that ancient wisdom that unfolds, that comes with us, that connects to us. Like, there's just such a power, and that grandmother energy, she just has that feeling in her body. Well, when you think of cold gives you that, like, it's just like that crisp feeling. You get that feeling in your body, and you got to get warm, like that sense of getting warm. Well, grandmother energy gives us that warmth, right? It just wraps us in this warmth, and you just, hello, everyone joining in, by the way, and hello, Miss Cynthia down there. And it's just, you just get so wrapped up in this warmth. And I just remember being a child, and no matter how bad your day is, no matter how struggling it was, is you could be like fighting this and that all day long, badly. But I get to my grandmother's, and I'd sit on our couch, and I would have that blah, 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 just let it all out. and she would have no opinion. No opinion. She wouldn't tell me to stop. She wouldn't tell me to get over it. She wouldn't do what my mother did. She'd just get over yourself. She would listen. And she would have this ability to listen. And she would listen to everything. As I always say, I hear the things people are not saying. You can talk all day, but that's not what I'm listening to. I'm listening for the keys of things that you're not saying. And she would just all of a sudden stop crocheting. And by this time I'd have a tea and I'd have toast and I'd be wrapped up all warm. And she'd sit back with her crochet, and she was a very modern kind of granny. She wasn't like old granny. And she would just put her hand up and hold onto her chest, and she would just all of a sudden speak with this soft voice of wisdom. And every bit of that duality, that fighting I was doing in my own mind was gone. And there would come over me this sense of peace, this contentment. And she said, you just got to be at peace with yourself. No matter what decision, what choice you make, you just got to make one. And when you make it, you got to be at peace with your decision. And she said, and that comes with being content with who you are. Just being content with who you are, knowing who you are. And first, you got to find her. And you're not going to find her through somebody else, not through a man. She used to say, not through a man, you're never going to find your happiness. And not through your friends, not through those things. And such truth. And as I've evolved my own emotions and evolved spiritually, and I've come to this place of where I'm preparing myself, feeling as if this just sense that I feel like I've been really sitting back and now feeling like ready to step forward. There's no real story to tell about it other than I'm just content, and content enough to be able to wear the warmth and the love of the divine and of the divine wisdom of the ancient ancestors that walk with us. So this beautiful moon and this beautiful, Gemini energy, and where this communication comes in is when you can truly pause between your breaths and communication, when you can find that balance, that you have this fluidity, this flowing energy that allows you to communicate with conviction, with such truth. And it always comes through channeling, through this divine presence of finding that sense of the voice. There is no thought about the word. There is no real language to it. It is like music of the soul. And when the music of the soul speaks, when the music of the soul comes through, it is the most powerful, the most beautiful, the most radiant is the word that I get. It's like radiance flows through. And if you ever heard those great elders speak, and that great wisdom speak, you can see the energy and the radiance that just flows. It's like your breath in the cold air. That crispy breath of when you breathe in the cold air. Remember being kids, when we were little, we used to pretend we're smoking in it. Who didn't do that, right? So we were going to be all cool. But it's that breath when you're outside and you're standing there and there's a few people and you're having those conversations and words become crystalled energy, and you can see the energy of the words and it just dissipates into the air. Well, that's how our words are. And when our words are not here to hurt, to harm, to judge, they don't stick in a way that leaves us second guessing ourselves. It becomes the wisdom that inspires us. It gives us that ability to just be able to just flow with that language and just know that it just falls like dew. It dissipates into the air like crystal, and it just goes. And there's just such radiant beauty that comes with that. And as I'm sitting writing the 7th book, I really wrote this morning about a wallet that I've been dreaming of, this red wallet I've been dreaming of, and how someone stole my identity. And I'm searching for this identity. And over the past 3 days, I have been places where pieces of my identity have been showing up. And the book is literally called The Woman I Am Yet to Know. And that's the revival of the woman I'm yet to know. And I'm getting to know this woman, getting to know this self. And as I travel to these places, what was in that dream is in reality. And you know why? It's because for the first time, and I really want you to know this for yourself, I am literally in my dreams. I'm not just dreaming about things or what could be, is I am there. I don't have a desired destiny. There's just such value that comes. And this comes with that wisdom of that beautiful elder energy. And like I said, Saint Anne has been speaking to me. She guided me a few years ago to go through rain. Thank God she didn't do this to me this time. But that we protect, think about this. You get a wallet, and you put this identity that's been created into it, and you guard it with your life. Your lot, like if it's lost, if somebody takes it, it's like, oh my God, it's so devastating to lose that identity. You guard it with your life, but yet your truth, your true soul self, you open up that wallet and you just let it go. And it doesn't matter where it goes. It doesn't, and you allow people to form it, create it, whatever it is. But the one that is created in this man-made world, you don't protect the same way. When you find you and you find that contentment, power of that ability to communicate, and you have less duality within your choices and decisions, because you start to know your way. And you're not so easily swayed. Somebody's not going to be able to gaslight you so easily, not going to be able to get to you so easily. And so these moons really, truly give us the opportunity, and this having such power, being the last full moon of in December, right, in this last of this cycle, is it has this powerful, potent potential to be able to sit with wisdom and just to really, truly look through on what is the emphasis of awareness that's coming up. What's irritating you? What's bothering you? What are you struggling with? What are you not saying? What are you missing out on that you truly would love to be able to say, I want to come, I want to be there, I want to be a part of, wherever that may be. And so bringing that into our awareness and connecting to that. And just knowing that this voice of ours, this ability of ours, this whole essence of us, the spine is just like that of a keyboard. And it's your tree of life, but it's also finding your note, finding that key essence of you. And when you're speaking and you hear your voice rise, you hear your voice go down, and you're up and you're down, you're all over the place. Well, that's you're speaking for the past versions of you. You're speaking for that old emotional story. You're speaking for the memory. You're speaking for the frustration. You're communicating for the essence of all of these extensions of self that we got to love. But there's the extensions of self. But when you come back here, right here, and you breathe in and you breathe out, and the voice finds its way, it's just right. And it's like finding the perfect temperature, that warm, cozy, sweet spot. So imagine finding that warm, cozy, sweet spot within you, being in that, holding that, being present with it. That's what we're searching. And that's what we're going to bring through in the meditation. And so I'm going to start with a card to go into the meditation, and then we're going to go into the meditation, and then we're going to come out and I'm going to do the cards. But I want to just bring one into the meditation. I want us to travel through and then come back and just feel the difference in that energy as we come back, as we come through again. And so I'm going to start with my own deck of the Everyday Goddess Oracles. And they have a new look, and I can't wait to be able to bring that look out. We are working on the box right now. Well, Amelia is working on the box, not we. Amelia is working on the box, and we're going to be, and the booklet is done, the cards are now done, everything else is done. So there's something new coming into creation with these. Let's see what they give us for us all. So asking for this to be of the highest good, whatever we need in here, leaving all of our egos on the outside, all the thoughts that are in our heads, just like push them aside for a moment, and let's just sit with the oracle as if we sit on that Sit on that little chunk of ice next to like you're putting on your skates and you're tying up your skates by the pond. You know, your bum's going to get cold and you got to do up those skates fast. But you're so excited to get on that ice. So just let that excitement get in. Let that energy in. And we have water, we have mermaid, and we have the mystical dreamer. And this is the mystical dreamer. This is Merlina. And sometimes we wish for one thing, and this is where duality, this card so speaks of duality. This card speaks of that sense of this and that. And things are just is. And the most powerful thing in this picture, no matter how much is happening, no matter how much action is here, it's the fine white line. And that fine white line, or the silver lining, right? That white line right here, there is a fine line between a right choice and a wrong choice. There's a fine line between heaven and hell within ourselves. There's a fine line between all things. It's all in the narratives of the stories we tell ourselves. It's where we get things lost in translation. When we get lost in translation, when we get so caught up in our wants and our fears, and it's the same thing, you know, wanting legs. We dream of that beautiful mermaid energy and just being able to just float through the water. But what if the mermaid dreams of having legs and to be able to walk on land, right? And so finding that sense of being satisfied, being content. Content doesn't mean we become complacent and we stop dreaming. It means that we get into our own dreams, our own story, and not into somebody else's. We don't try to live in somebody else's dream or try to live out somebody else's dream. We get that clarity and that crispness of knowing, of seeing ourselves in our dreams. My dream for so long, all it had was green, green grass. And all I kept saying was, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what it looks like. All I know is green, green grass, because I'm done watering weeds. I'm not having the weeds choking out my green grass anymore. And that's all I know. I don't know anything other than that. That's all I know. And there was such a power to that feeling that I felt. And so this essence of being able to know that we can be here on earth and we can be human. And we also are that of soul. We're also that of spirit. And the veil that is between us and spirit world is literally our human. It's our ability to be so connected to human that we forget that we are spirit. And all we have to do to get to that spirit is to be able to connect to the fact that we are so much more than human. We have all, and we have the ability to be all. And so this is where this is, just to allow ourselves to go, to allow ourselves to be free, to allow ourselves to just go to this place to just travel so deep within and just breathe into that and just connect to that, be present with that for just a moment. And so I'm going to ask of you all to take a moment and just take that deep breath and just shake out your day, shake out life, and just let it go. I just want to break out in Elsa. And now I want you to just let your eyes just gently close. Just allow your eyes to close. And allow your shoulders to just drop. And then I'm going to invite you to be a little bit like the childlike energy of a Gemini. A little bit elfy, a little bit of an elfy realm, a little bit of a character. And just let your shoulders, let your body just sway a little. Have that little sway, that little movement. And as you do, you're allowing yourself to kind of break free. Just break free from the body, just breaking free. And letting in that childlike energy, innocence, curiosity, as we allow ourselves to just feel now, as we just let the body just naturally just find a comfortable position. Feel your feet connecting to the ground or your bum to your chair, wherever you are, and just feel yourself being rooted and grounded. And we're not seeing roots of a tree come up. We're actually going to see like crystal, like frost coming from the ground. When you see that frost on top of the soil, on top of the ground, when the moisture comes up, and you're seeing like that crystal energy just coming up, or you feel it, just know it. Whatever your senses are connecting to there, Just let it just know that there's this crystalline energy rising from the ground, just coming up through the bottoms and up through your feet and up through the spine, through the hips, and all the way up through the back. And almost as if you can feel this cool sensation. Not uncomfortable, just cool. And just feel it coming across the shoulders, just like you're using like one of those A535 rubs or something. And just feel it going deep into the muscles, just deep into the body. And it's traveling all the way deep in. And it travels across the shoulders, down the arms, and out through your hands. And then another extension is coming up the back of the neck, around to the front and through the ears, the jaw, up through the head, entering in through, and then as if it all meets at the top and just one light of this crystalline energy just comes all the way down through, entering back out and then all the way up and out into the ethers, and it's connecting you top and bottom, right and left, front and back. And as we are being connected, we feel this crystalline energy just forming around us as if we're being put in this cosmic egg, this cosmic energy of your own crystal glowing ball. And as you're inside this crystalline ball, we're going to feel ourselves as if we are now rising up, and we're going to leave our humans. And what we're going to ask is we're going to ask for the beautiful divine council to enter in. And in this council, the great healers, a great healer energy will step forward. You may see a color, you may see a presence of something, you may just feel it or just know it's here. And this beautiful energy now enters down into this crystalline with your human body. And as it comes into this energy with your human body, we're going to leave your human and leave your human with this healer energy. And as if your human body just gets to fully relax, we're going to feel as if our whole take that breath in as we lift up and out of our bodies. And as we lift up and out of our bodies, we enter into the circle of the council. Rising up, entering in. And now here you are in the midst of this council. Feel the shift in energy. Feel the shift, feel the change. And now as you bring your awareness to this council, this circle of council, there's an opening to one side, and then they form around. And as you look around, notice these beings or light or whatever they may be to you, but one catches your attention. One. And as this one just connects to you, to your light, to your essence, it walks towards you. And you meet. And as you meet, you have a knowing that this is a guide. And as all of the council holds this space, holds this energy, you and your guide leave. And I invite you to walk out of the circle and start walking on the path that is beyond this opening. Now, as you start to move with your guide, all that starts to form, all that you feel, sense, and know is all happening as you're traveling, as you're moving, as you're going. And just feel yourself. Just feel this essence of your whole soul, the spirit of you, just traveling. And you're making that connection. Being able to hear your guide, see, feel, sense, just know, smell, may even be taste out there, who knows? This is ancient wisdom. And then as you start to come to the end of a path, you're going to notice there's a garden. And you're invited to open up the gate. And as you open up the gate, as you feel yourself opening up the gate, you walk inside, close the gate, and this is your sacred space. And as you enter into this sacred space, as you enter in here, you find this place to just sit. And you sit with your guide. And as you feel yourself sitting with this guide, here's your chance to ask, what do I need to know? Any dualities, any struggles, any even just wisdom, any key things that you would like to know, that you need to know, that you make this connection, that you connect with this divine essence that's with you. And as I'm going to go silent for just a moment, I'm going to allow this beautiful relationship to be strengthened, to be made stronger through love, through divine love. Now, I invite you to also ask about your human. Any messages that you have for your human existence, for your human self, anything that you may want to know for your journey as you travel forward into 2023, anything that's in the endings of 2022 that your human may need to know, connect with. We invite you to also ask for guidance, ask for wisdom, ask for support, ask for what is needed. And just listen. And remember, nothing is ridiculous. Nothing is crazy. Everything has a why and a purpose. Everything is value. Sometimes some of the beautiful messages they give us, we may not know, we may not hear, we may not connect fully to until the time is there. Till the time is the perfect time. And now, as you feel yourself starting to feel the need to get back and to the council, you and your guide now stand. You show such love and gratitude, whatever you need to say, any last minute things as you're walking out from the garden. As you're going to reach the gate, you're going to open the gate. Take one last look around, as this is your sacred place. This is one of your places that you get to go, that you get to come to connect. You can do it so quickly in just a breath when you're even with your human. As you close the gate, you and your guide walk out and you start walking back the path. Now, as you're walking back the path, bring any awareness to any feelings you may be feeling, the essence of the spirit of you, pieces of the innate identity of you. Those parts of ourselves that, may have been a problem for someone else in our human existence, but we just can't seem to get rid of. Those little pieces. And we ask for our divine guide to give us the strength and the courage to be courageous in being ourselves. In bringing back that piece of ourselves, that essence of our soul, to revive that for our human self, to know not to lose it. It's part of our spark. And as you reach back to the council, and that same space opens, and you walk into the center of the council. Your guide walks back, and you stand in the middle. And as you're in the middle, the council just gives you an opportunity to leave behind anything that needs to be let go of, surrendered, so that it can be transmuted back to you in wisdom, in love, in guidance, as they will bring this into the ethers, into the heavens, into that divine space. And they will bring it back and translate it and transmute it into something that is so beautiful, so wonderful for you. And it will come back. And as we show gratitude and love for the council, we now feel ourselves come in to the awareness of the capsule, seeing the healer with your human. And as the healer energy comes up back into the council, any wisdom that the healer may have about your human that you may need to know, listen, allow them to give you anything that you may need to know. As we show gratitude, appreciation, and love to the healer energy, we now feel the essence of our spirit coming back into our body or back inside that capsule. You may feel a bit of the warmth or the cool, whichever it may be. And as you enter back into the body, feel yourself coming back into you. We feel the council lift up and away. And as we're coming into our body, feel as if there is this beautiful grandmother energy just wrapping around you, a beautiful cloak, like a quilt, could be many colors. It can be one color, but be aware of the fact that you may see a color of this cloaking around you. And as if it's even got like a little hood, or it just goes up over your head and just wraps around you. And feel the warmth and feel the love, feel the weight of it. As your body feels lighter, this has a weight that is there to be your protection, so that you can let go of some of the defensiveness, some of the having to be always defending, protecting, whatever it may be, that your protection is outside. It is over you. It is with you. And all of this is happening inside of this beautiful crystalline energy, so that you can get used to and accustomed to this. As you feel this cloak, you feel this quilted blanket, this fuzzy weighted blanket. Just breathe into this. And as you and your spirit connect, as if the information, the wisdom that you've gained, the healing that your body is receiving, all starts to blend together. Feel your toes, your knees, your legs, your hips, feel your spine, feel all things. And as that crystalline energy now starts to head down and out through all parts of your body, is that we can feel our blood flowing again. Feel your heartbeat, thump, 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 thump. Connect to your breath with a big breath in and a big breath out. And as this crystalline energy just now falls down around, stay with your body, being present with your body in the present moment. Amanaka na 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 na. Anaka no ko manaka na 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 ka na. Amanaka no ko no no ka na 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 manaka no 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 na ka na. Anana ka no 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 ka no ka na 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 na. Amanaka no ka no 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 na na na. Amana. Anaka no manaka no. Anana na ka no 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 na ka na na na. Manaka no 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 na ka na 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 na. Amana na ka no 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 na. And as we, the grandmother spirit, send you many blessings of strength, of love, of beautiful essence, of divine energy, as you connect to the divine within and to the power within and to the beauty within, as if we see this beautiful rose energy that is formed from this crystalline energy being placed directly in the front of you, that this is the grandmother energy. This is the beautiful divine energy. This is the knowing, the strength, the wisdom. This is that of contentment and being at peace and love. and that you are blessed, and that you are a blessing, and that you are love, you are loved, and that you are beloved. You are radiant, you are bliss. You are all things beautiful. And as we offer you this blessing, we offer you this moment, we offer you all the love that the world has to give. We ask of you to just allow your eyes, your body to just come back into this awareness, into this here, and into this now. We say thank you. Mm. I hope in some way that this meditation truly guided you through. And if you came in late, I know Catherine came in late. If you that you can do the recording again after, as long as you're here and you're in the energy, you're still receiving, and you're in this moment of absolute love and absolute joy. And it's an honor. So we are going to add some more cards to this and bring in another message. And I didn't know which decks to really bring in, but I'm going to go back and do one from the Everyday Goddess. And I brought in the Fays, and I'm like, you don't want to come tonight, Fae. Like, the fairies didn't really want to come, but in the meantime, I did my fairy shaman blessing on my head before I came in, and we do it with dirt. For anyone who don't know, we do fairy shaman as a working in that energy. We take dirt from the pots and we bless ourselves before we come in. And I'm like, and so I was going to leave them out, and they snuck their way behind the Mother Mary, behind Mary Magdalene cards. And so they're here. So we will bring them in. We'll see what they have to say for us. And I know they're here because they're little mischievous little things sometimes. And so we have Gemma. We have imperfectly perfect. And this beautiful card, in the essence, there was such magic in the creation of this, because my talisman is a Herkimer diamond. It has been for many years. I've carried that thing. And when my neurological condition was at its worst, when I would speak, in order to be able to not have all the dit, I used to believe that I had to hold on to something in my hand to stay focused until I started to believe in me. And when I start to believe in myself and know that there was this powerful essence of the divine that existed within, and that it just wasn't out there, that I could start to be imperfectly perfect, that no matter how much the conversation was not perfect, and sometimes I'd not have everything as it should be, but everything was as it needed to be. And so the talisman, the imperfect piece, is still one of the biggest pieces in my collection, and it's still with me. But I don't have to have it in my hands to know. So this is your message. Not everything has to be in place in your hands to know that you have it. That's your future. You don't need to hold it in your hands. You don't need to hold on. You need to know that you, as a divine, you as a soul, that as you arrived and as you return to your authentic self, that your divine destiny, who and what you truly came to be, your divine purpose, is unfolding. And it's already within you. You just got to get back into your dream, your truth. Not even what other people say, you need to be this, you should do this. There's a lot of things we may be really great at, but just because we're great at it doesn't mean that that's the path. It's the call. And when we answer the call and we find that authentic self, it just unfolds this magical blossoming self. And so this radiance is, it is this gem, but it's also these lines of light that are coming in, this white and this purple, this of our higher consciousness, the awareness that you have this divine self, this presence that walks in. And if you just close your eyes and you just take that breath and you breathe in, and you feel that self walking in, and then you walk into her. And I just want you to just close your eyes for just a moment and just feel it. And as you raise your breath, as you breathe up, instead of breathe all the way up into your head, and we connect into our third eye, into our God will, and we connect into there and let the breath go, we feel the presence of this divine self, this radiant light walking towards us. And as it walks towards you, it may be taking form, it may be entering into something. And as it walks towards you, just feel yourself connecting to it and then walk through it. And as it walks through, feel the power, feel your shoulders come up, feel you rise up in your energy, feel the rise. This is your higher self. And it's not going to always be about taking the high road. It's going to be about letting the high self guide you. But knowing the power of creating balance between the power of your human and working with your higher self. And that your human emotions are always going to be imperfect. They're always going to be wishy-washy. They're always going to be like a kid's coloring book. Your human emotions are always going to be like a kid's coloring book. You're always going to color in the wrong colors in the wrong spots. You're going to say the wrong things. You're going to do the wrong things. You're going to speak out. You're going to say shit you're not supposed to say. And it's going to happen because you can't help it. You're human. And it's a beauty and it's an honor to be here, to be human. One of the greatest things in More Than Existing that I give in day one and in the last days is, what was your childhood dreams? Because the secrets to you are hidden in those childhood dreams. In the end, it always brings us back to this essence that, you know what our divine purpose was? To come to be the best human that we could be. And to learn to evolve love, to become love, to learn to be kind, caring, and compassionate, which ultimately is to ourselves first. If we can't be it to ourselves, we don't know how to be it to others. But we can't hold it in our hands. You can't hold love. You can't hold faith. You can't hold those things. They are non-existence. But when it gains legs and it gets the weight of a story, the power that it has and how it plays it in our lives really, truly changes it from one form to the next. And so that imperfection and just living as that divine self brings forth this power of remembering. So remember that teenager that was trying to perfect their look, right? Remember her. Remember that teenager that you think was such a problem. Finding the essence of the pieces of her she left behind and seeing how she was pretty freaking courageous. And she was sometimes pretty bold. And she had to do some big things with a little brain, right? Like she was still a little girl. But the world was saying she was growing up, so she had to be larger than life. And so now being this age and where we are, there's a lot of what we should be. As a grandmother, there's a whole lot of I should be this and I should be settled down. I should be sensible. But that's what people put on us. Life is just beginning. And here is our next card from the deck. And we have Emi. And this is how death looks. And how rebirth looks. And how the essence of that before from zero to beginning to end. And the rainbow is not an arc. A rainbow is a circle, right? And everything has that circle of life. And so Emi is me spelt backwards and forwards. That's Emi. And Emi speaks of that essence of when we allow ourselves to walk that essence of becoming that rainbow light, that rainbow essence, that Christ-like light, that essence of ourselves, when all else doesn't matter, when all flecks of insecurity, all flecks of looking around to see who is looking before we move into ourselves, when all leaves and we walk into that truth and we walk into our light and we walk into self. And so we leave behind, we let die the stories and the pieces of us. And as this is the last big full moon and the full moon energy is that we are moving into a new energy. Now, the years have been set, but the only thing that makes the end of the year and the new year any different is somebody has given it a date. And we do that with life. We give ourselves dates and times and we set those big goals. And when we don't meet them, we're failures. Because who said it though? Was it your soul or was it you? Was it your truth? Was it your divine essence? and then the pressure we put on ourselves to meet it. In the meantime, there's a lot of beautiful moments and opportunities that die, that we miss, that get lost in us being so focused on getting one place, one way, because we don't enjoy the journey. We don't see all of this that is happening. So as we're moving forward, don't rush the process of December. Don't rush the process of a moon. Let the moon unfold. And the middle world has a lot of ego, just saying. And the middle world, and when you're in the middle world, that little world, they're like little shits. And so there's a lot of teenager energy down there. And there is a lot of curiosity. And you kind of got to be more of your childlike to get in there. Because they're like, we don't want you grown-ups in here thinking that you're going to come in here and change it. Because what do people do? We get into places, so you take your conditioning, your program, and you want to infiltrate it into the place everything you didn't want, you bring it in because it creates comfort. So everything you didn't want in your life somehow creeps its way in because it's so ingrained, infiltrated into all that you are, that then before you know it, you're back being everything you didn't want to be. Whereas they're like, we are this, and we're not going to be anything other than this. And this is the essence of such powerful truth, that there is when you find you, when you know you no longer need to defend you. When you know you don't have to justify. When you know you know who you are. So when somebody's telling you what you're not, you're like, no, I'm sorry. That's your story, not mine. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but somebody needs to hear that tonight, or else they wouldn't be bringing it in. So they're bringing it in because, is that you, Catherine? I'm like, somebody needs that message because it is coming loud and clear. And it's like, you need to hear this and you need to listen to it. And we have Frigga coming in, and she's fall. And we just came through that fall-y energy, but she's also fire. What do we need to stay warm? Right? We need to light the fire. And this moon also gives us the opportunity to light the fire, to light the passion. I have a Gemini brother and a Gemini granddaughter. And my brother was just here visiting. We're 10 months apart in age. So he's 52. I'm 51. And he broke the chair at the table at my daughter's house. Being Freddie, we called him. He's very elfy. And my granddaughter laughed a gutful. She thinks it's friggin' hilarious. And then she says, come, Nana, let me show you what Uncle Fred did. Look what he just did. And she's laughing at him, but with me, she's like, he's bad. And I'm like, see, she just threw you under the bus. Because now she's going to be the good girl, but she was all invested and involved in you breaking the chair. And that's, and so that's that sense of duality, right? And so there is that mischievousness, and you got to know what you're doing. And so Frigga brings in this, she brings in this bounty, this plenty, and we are moving into an energy of bounty and plenty and bringing in. So when you bring in plenty of love, plenty of light, plenty of faith, plenty of the abundance of all things magical into your life, when you open up your heart and your eyes and your mind to the perspectives that there's so much more existing than this one world, that you start to see that we live in a world that is just full, that is just filled with so many amazing things. The abundance is through this roof. It's incredible. And this year has been that for me. The trees have become my greatest teacher as I spent so much of this year in silence with a plum tree that I didn't know was a plum tree, and to the roots and to the divine love that has been present, and then to the angelic realm. And so they're bringing us in, and forget, she's the 12th. So she's also the 12th. And so the 12th month, 12th cycle, right? The ending. So the ending, right? We're in that ending, but we're also in beginnings. We're also in the opportunity of new beginnings. But the 12 is that we're right at the top again. We're not at the bottom. We're at due north, right? We're at that point of where, what have I gained? What have I learned this season? What have I learned this year? What have I really gained from this? No matter the good, bad, and the ugly, it's an opportunity. There's something to be learned from every experience. What have I learned? What have I gained? What has been given to me? Right? For me to be able to plant a new seed for me to be able to grow from this? What am I cultivating from this experience? And so she's coming in with this, and she's bringing this into your awareness and just saying, you're going to kind of try to trick yourself, because what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to get back into the year. You're going to try to go backwards a little bit, because part of the energy that we have is literally making it like difficult, like feeling like, oh, I don't want to go any further. So your fears are rising, right? It's the things that start to rise up, that start to come up as we get down into the depths of the deep stuff. And it's like, oh, well, it would just be easier to go backwards. It would just be easier to go back to this. But there's no real going backwards. You're just going to be taking the past into your future. And all you're doing is adding weight and taking luggage with you you don't need to take. And so there's a lot of luggage that you don't need to take moving forward. What needs to be left behind? And don't just poke it in your shed. Don't poke it in your crawl space. Don't poke it in your closet. I mean it. If it's in your closet, it's still inside your house. If it's still in your heart, if it's still occupying space in your mind, it's still here. So it's bullshit that we tell ourselves. And you gotta be willing to be honest with yourself. This is also the time of honesty. Honesty. My little Gemini granddaughter haven't got a clue how to tell a lie. You might not like it, but you're going to hear it, right? And so, but as an adult and an adult energy, now this middle world, don't give us anything soft and gentle. The divine softens it. When we learn how to soften our words, we can communicate the toughest and the hardest things in a beautiful way. And that is so important, because we don't want to leave anyone or anything more broken than we already found it, including ourselves. We want to leave things better than it was before we arrived, right? So before we arrived at this point, we want to leave all of this better. And even our sense of our shadow selves, even the essence of our inner child healing, we want to leave that aspects of ourselves better than it was. So falling in love with the essence of ourselves, but yet breaking up with that old, is just saying, we've come as far as we can go together. And now we have to be able to move forward with a sense that I'm going to let you go play. You go on holidays, and say to your other self, it's, you know what? Now you're ready to retire. And I've been telling myself that all year. You've retired. And I did. And so this is in my 5th year of being out of my old industry coming up. And I'm like, it's that final stage. And I'm like, I spent 30 years in an industry. 30 years I gave to that career. Of everything you could accomplish, I accomplished. And then I was beating myself up because it was my spine that took me out. And how dare I then be done? And now I have to be working harder again. I'm supposed to be retired. I spent 30 years in an industry. But that sense of, so I said all year, I've been saying, I'm retired. I've retired that life. And now I'm going to live. But first I got to figure out how to live, because I've never lived. I just existed before. In all of the routines, all the things that shoulda, coulda, wouldas, all the things you needed to do. But right here, when you're living, when you feel yourself actually coming to life, breathing into that, it comes with a lot less restrictions, a lot less deadlines, a lot less shoulda, coulda, wouldas, a lot less of looking at every single day of whether or not you got somebody's attention or not. Because you got the main attention. You're getting yours. And so allowing this crystal energy to then become a mirror and to reflect back to you. And when one tear falls from your eye, now you can feel you. That's when you start to see the real you, the true you. So the Fae love us. They really do. And because they want what's best for us, they try to kind of force us to see the things that we don't want to look at in our lives. They keep throwing it in our face. They keep throwing it in our way. Can't you see it? Can't you see it? Can't you see it? It's like that annoying friend who's like, do you want to come? Do you want to come? Do you want to come? Do you want to go? Do you want to go? No, I don't want to go. Why don't you want to go? It's the same type of thing, except we don't pressure each other. And then we have Awen, I think is how we say her name. And she's got that white skin and the red lips. And she's the gift, she's that divine awakening. And the power of red, the passion of red And we're in red season. We're in reds and greens and vibrancy and silvers and golds. And we're also in the age, we're also in the time of when the Magi has returned. So the Magi, the wise ones, are here. The great wisdom is here. That's where the divine comes in here. So we have the divine of the wise ones, the wisdoms that comes with gifts, comes with wisdom, comes with knowledge, comes with so much to help us in times of difficulties, in times of birth, as we are preparing for the birth of something new, as we wait for that beautiful stars in the sky to align, as we wait for those moments, when we just know it within ourselves that we are that shining star, that we can, evolve our emotions to get into the other side, to the other aspect, to get to this part of the energy, and to just be able to feel ourselves becoming the star of our show, the queen energy, that essence of our beautiful wise one, and connecting to that great wisdom that is within us. And so she gives us like that little look, like you don't know what she's up to. We never know what the divine is up to. As much as we'd like to think we do, we get glimpses. It's just like our knowledge. As much as we think we know 5%. But that infinite wisdom, that infinite possibilities, so much is out there. So much is there. And for us to be able to get into it, to tap into it, to connect to it, it's like, it's a magical world. And there's just so much that magic. And the moment you set yourself one goal and you're saying, that's what I'm going to reach, what if as big as it is, what if that's too small compared to what your divine destiny is really chosen for you? What if even that's too small? So what if you let it go and you just have that feeling of just knowing, and my mission has been, I'm living a life of joy and happiness no matter the cost. It has cost me everything. Everything. In the past 4 years, I literally have lost everything that really truly was all created from stories to step into nothing but everything. And it's been a powerful journey. It's been a challenging journey, but the power of this beautiful divine wisdom that keeps showing up as this divine that just like, I don't know why that just happened, but it just happened. Those synchronicity moments, and also the power of prayer. The power of prayer. There is such greatness in the power of our prayers. We ask in prayer, we receive in our meditations, we receive in everyday life. But the power of our prayers is knowing that we have to ask for the guidance and assistance, let go of that sense of having to be so in charge. And then we have the dreamer, who is about our visions, our trance, which is exactly what we did today. So what we did today was a trance meditation. And so as I'm a trance healer, so what we do is we take you through and leaving that human behind and leaving it with the power of the divine energy for whatever healing the body needs, that it just brings forth what it needs. So you don't have to be constantly rehashing, digging up, retelling that story. It just goes where it's needed. It just is. And when you can work with the power of just is, incredible things unfold. Incredible things unfold. And so this beautiful dreamer, and she's in the greenery. She's in what some might call, weeds. She's in those vines. She's in the ferns. She's in all of that beautiful stuff. And I was just spoke through my asparagus cactus plant today because it's huge. And I'm like, you are getting on my nerves. You are shedding everywhere. Like it's like sprigs are everywhere, but it's in a season. It's in a winter season. So it's not dying. It's in a cycle. And when we're in a cycle, it feels like a nuisance in our lives. It feels like it's like an inconvenience. It's a bother. The challenges are our opportunities. And so in that dream is sometimes you just got to go to sleep and just leave it to the divine, leave it to God consciousness, to creator, to source, whatever it's like, this is too great for me. Well, that's our darkness. Those places of darkness is too powerful for us. Your ego is almost as powerful as the divine. it's created the whole personality, the whole identity you've got, right? And so this being able to just like, I can't do this, but you can. And I always say that. I would say, I can't do it, but you can. I don't know, but you do. So figure it out. I'll go to bed every night and I'll just say, you know what, God, I don't know. You do. I don't know. I'm just a mere mortal human here, because that's where you put my soul. So you figure it out, and you give me the how-tos, and you walk me in that direction. I'll move, but you tell me and I will go. And I speak to it that way. So speak to yourself with such conviction, and speak to the divine within you that says, I am worth that journey and I am worth this effort, but I'm going to start finding this sense of being content and at peace with me, and recognizing that I don't have to fight with my decisions. I just have to know that I made them and nobody else made them for me. And that's going to be key, that you made them. And no matter how brilliant anybody is, it doesn't matter. It's that you make them and not somebody else. And if they're the wrong one, you'll just make the next one, you may be the right one. But you make those decisions. You make those choices. Not who needs to hear that one, but that's for you. Now let me end this little mission we're on here, this little journey we're on. And I'm going to go to the Mother Mary Oracle. And this one comes with some medicine for us. So it comes with some messages from the divine. Our Lady of Peaceful Change. And so this is Our Lady of Peaceful Change. And in our transitions, some are easy, some are challenging. But when we're at peace with ourselves, when we embody that light, when we become that light, when we just know that we are limited in our abilities, but there's unlimited potentials and possibilities, that anything can happen, anything can unfold. Even in our worst days, it's just like something magical can come in. And it's like, then what we start to recognize is that sense of releasing the worry to peace, making peace with what's out of our control. And I want to share this, they just give me this. I'm just listening because they just give me something. I'm like, it's in my cards too. When a mother gives birth to a child. So when we give birth to something new, when a mother gives birth to a child, and that moment of all of that pressure, all of that hurt to getting it there, and then the child is born and there's just this relief. There's exhaustion, there's relief. But then you hold that little child, and for a moment, the world stops. Everything stops. Nothing matters. You're not thinking about yesterday, tomorrow, anything. You're just what you're looking into is divine light. You're looking into joy. You're looking into, oh my God, look at something so beautiful. Even though new babies are not, they're usually pretty ugly, but just saying. But you don't see that in the moment. You only see that when you look back at the pictures at age 1 and you look back at the newborn, right? And you're like, oh my God. But that moment, and then that moment ends just like that. As fast as you have these moments, it ends just like that. And do you know what changes that moment? It's because something else enters into there, whether it is a thought, whether it's somebody else in the room that speaks or the baby cries, but something loses that moment. The key is when we step back and we can pick up and remember those moments and we can bring them together, and then we spend the rest of our lives taking those moments and like popcorn on a string, like stringing popcorn and then putting it on the Christmas tree as a kid. And we string them on like little popcorns because the seeds are now blown open, and we put them on the string and we tie them all together, and we get a string of beautiful experiences and beautiful moments. And in the pause and reflection is like looking back through those pictures, and for a moment you just stop. And I just experienced that when my family was here, and they pulled out a picture of me as a child, as a baby, and they're like, oh my God, Haley looks just like you. And I said, keep telling everybody that. And then for a moment, my sister-in-law sent me a blown up picture of my face. And for a moment, I sat with that face. And I looked at her with the same feeling that I had of when I held my daughter for the first time. And it was only a fleeting moment, but it was a moment of love. Now, if you can bring those moments of love back into yourself and add those as well, now you got a whole string of beautiful moments and beautiful opportunities. So spend your life trying to build those and trying to get those. And it will be amazing that life will be so much more wonderful. I haven't got it all figured out. I'm just on the journey. I'm writing the book as I'm starting to learn about this woman. I'm curious. She's interesting. She's inspiring. She has conquered so much. She has accomplished so much. Yet I couldn't see that. And I'm willing to bet that there's many areas in your life you are still trying to reach something that feels like I want to accomplish something, do something, but you have accomplished it. You have accomplished it all. You have done it all. You all have lived big lives and done big things. But when you look into somebody else's or you compare it to somebody else's, it'll never be enough. Get back into your own dream, as my grandmother would say. Be at peace, be content, and make peace with where you have been, and allow yourself to work from that space. And you'll start to fall in love. And I hope in some way that this all has inspired or helped you. I never know what's coming. All I know is I get asked to show up, and I show up. And this is what we got. So for anyone who would love to ask questions, I'm going to be available, but I want to share these things first. I'm going to give a little plug. If you have not yet got my books, this is my first book, More Than Existing. And someone sent it to me, but for some reason at the moment, Amazon got this astronomically put high, but I didn't publish this book. So Balboa has it at regular price. Amazon has it at a higher price, but Balboa and Barnes & Noble still has it at its normal price. So it is More Than Existing. That's my first book. This is my new book. And this one is My Truth of Existing Beyond the Reflection. This is about the lies and half-assed truths that we start to recognize, that we've been so accustomed to be able to accept and tell ourselves our own lies, that becomes our truth, that creates our lives. And when we can see from the soul, when we can literally become the essence of seeing ourselves, how we are seen from the divine within us, and bringing that back in and finding that sense of pride within ourselves. So those are available. Also, we have the summit coming up in January, and you can get the tickets to the summit on the website. It's the More Than Existing Summit. It's going to be amazing. There's 12 speakers over the whole weekend. It is also recorded. And then in the evening, if you scroll down, there's an add-on, and it's a 2-hour evening with spirit that I will be doing in the evening on the Saturday evening. So both are available. I'd love to see your beautiful faces there with us. And yeah, it's going to be incredible. And Lisa can add on more details about that one. But that's what we have happening, and whatever else. But anyone have any questions, anything you want to ask, anything you want to share of your experience, anything that's coming up for you? All quiet? All good? All right. Well, I want to thank you for being here. If you came in late, you'll get the recording. You'll be able to go back and do the recording and listen to the meditation again. Or you can just go back and do it again yourself. And just know so much is happening in those meditations when we go through that place. And if you're wondering what I was doing at the end of the meditation, I always forget about this. I always forget about my light language. So if you're wondering what I was doing at the end, it is called light language. And a few years ago, that started, like I was in the middle of writing, and all of a sudden I was writing my book, The Way. And as I'm writing the book, The Way, all this stuff started to come from me. And I'm like, okay, I have officially lost it. I am now gone over the deep end. Something is wrong with me. And then I felt this joy in my heart after. So it is the language of the divine. It's the language without words. It's the essence that it's like listening to orchestra without words to the music, but the same music is there. And that's what it's like. It has such power and such divine essence that it is from a higher level of consciousness where there is no language created. So there's no words, no human words, which human words are in that lower vibrational. So the words can't match it. And so it is from a higher consciousness, and it just flows and it comes in. And if I try to make it happen, it can't happen. And so it is something that is brought forward when I'm doing healing work, or anytime that I'm in that space and that place of when I'm fully channeled. So when I'm fully channeled, fully given over, I work in that physical essence of just physically giving myself fully over and letting the divine fully I become embodied in that divine. And so I don't let it out everywhere. Sounds a little crazy, but and sometimes it doesn't come through in recordings. So if you get the recording and you're listening and it's just like that place goes empty or blank and nothing, is not anything wrong with the recording itself. It just doesn't record very well. Thank you for every one of you showing up and for being present and for being here with us. This was a beautiful evening, and I couldn't have spent it with a more beautiful group of people. So I am honored and always a privilege. Mwah! Have a beautiful night. Much, much love. Thank you so much. Thank you. Namaste.